Yes, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our
Yes, good morning and welcome.
welcome to our India home session. Asaka
Hi.
Miyashita, if I'm not wrong. I know, like, it's a best diet. They say the Japanese diet is the best diet. So definitely we are eager to. I mean, we are welcoming you. She is a registered dietitian, nutrition in New York, but is originally from Tokyo, Japan. Currently working at a skilled nursing home in Manhattan and owning a private practice to help people with food and nutrition. Yes, welcome, Asaka.
Thank you so much. Geisha?
Yes,
Geisha?
Geeta.
Geeta.
Yeah.
And then thank you so much for having me, also contacting the Dr. Lau. Thank you so much. So you must be in India now.
Yes, I'm in India.
Oh, thank you. What time is it now?
Evening 7:30.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's okay.
Yeah, all of them are muted. So normally we keep them muted until the presentation is done.
Okay. Okay, let's
Please.
start. Okay, let's start. So I'm gonna share my slides. Okay, let's see this. Oops. Okay. Okay, hi everyone again. Thank you so much for having me this morning. So April 3rd, the spring weather. And then I'm talking about my home country, like Japan. And then we are known to be longevity, and then also like in a say like in a it's food usually like in healthy. So yes, but in New York and especially like United States, people think like if you say Japanese food, people think like in a sushi or tempura. I don't know how many familiar with Japanese food, but we have more. Actually, like we don't eat like a sushi every day. I think like your culture too. I know like I love Indian food, like food, like and then but my friend like we don't eat like samosa every day. They kind of same thing. But I want to introduce like my kind of like my food culture, and then also like I will talk about like a little bit like health and the nutrition for senior people. Okay, this is, I don't know how many, maybe I will talk later, like how many people like have you been to Japan? And okay, so this is showing a map of Japan, and then I don't know how many people know about Okinawa Prefecture. So this is the south part of Okinawa, the south part of Japan. So main island is here, but the Okinawa is a tiny island. But Okinawa is well known for long and healthy lives. And but 2020 census, Okinawa is falling in life expectancy, ranking 43. So we have like 57 prefectures in Japan, but now like Okinawa is 43, and the men for the men, but the women is 16. So this is like a census by Ministry Health, Labor and Welfare in Japan. So but it's on the top. I wrote it down. Life expectancy is men 81, almost 82, women 87.6 for 2023. So why Okinawa used to be like famous for longevity, and then people live much longer, and then it's still like we have a lot of seniors Okinawa. They live like almost like 100 years old. But somehow, because census showing the falling in the life expectant, 43 for men, like 16 for women, because we have a United States base in Okinawa, and then a lot of American live in Okinawa, and then McDonald's, like a different kind of fast food places also open in Okinawa. So young people, they eat more Western food than traditional Okinawan food. That's why I believe, like, the one of the reason Okinawa is falling in the life expectancy. Is everyone okay? And then, so next slide. So, and then which prefecture got ranking number 1? So by census, like 2023. So men is Shiga Prefecture, age 82.73. So Shiga Prefecture is like, I put in a smiley face in the yellow here. Shiga Prefecture, kind of like a mainland, middle. And then women, Okayama Prefecture, it's like an orange smile. I put in a smiley face here, Okinawa Prefecture. So it's very interesting to me too, because mainland, so I think like your culture too, like south and then north part, everybody has like a little bit different diet. So Shiga, Okayama, kind of like the middle of mainland. And then if you go up, I don't know if you see, like this is a Hokkaido area, like Hokkaido Prefecture, biggest island in Japan. So it's the weather is much colder than like in Okinawa or like here, like Kyushu area. So Okayama, Shiga Prefecture is pretty like a warm weather. I feel like also one of the causes longer is the weather too. And then I didn't write it down, but it's this kind of northern part. The Hokkaido is daily also like longer too. But the kind of worse ranking, like this northern part of area. So people die like in an early age than this Okayama or Shiga Prefecture. And then I think like, this area eats more salt because of weather, like much colder. And then also like they use a lot of pickles too. They use vegetable, they make a lot of pickles with the salt. So I want to kind of like look into it more about kind of like this longevity, like, research. So so do you think like diets from Okinawa, Shiga, or Okayama Prefecture are different? So I'm gonna show you like a next slide. Oh, so before I show you the next slide, this is a Japanese food guide spinning top. So in the US, we use like in a pyramid, but our Japanese version is kind of spinning the top. You need to exercise on the top. There's a human, like you have to do like in a physical activity, like exercise. And then of course, like drinking water, and then also like they put some tea. That's kind of interesting too. Because we drink a lot of green teas. So and then by the way, people think like we in Asia we have different type of green teas, but if you're interested in like next time if you buy like a green tea, check the label, like it's made in Japan, because the green tea in China, green tea in Japan is just slightly different. So both are good for the health, but it's so different, it tastes different too. So okay, so this spinning top, on the top, Japanese government, they recommend grain, like in the starch. You have to eat like 5 to 7 servings per day. And then the next vegetable dish. And then this is like a little the protein, fish, egg, meat, also like a dairy product, yogurt. Sorry, like the yogurt dairy product is a little bit and on like almost like, the bottom, like you don't have to eat a lot. And then also like, that's like, fruit, 2 servings per day. So I think like culturally, like, we recommend you to eat a lot of carbohydrate and then like you don't have to eat a lot of protein. So because of the weather, and then also like used to Japan, like, now like, we have everything, all seasons. Also, like, this is a little sad too. Like, we used to enjoy seasonal vegetables, seasonal like fruits, and then like a fish too, like seasonal fish. And then we didn't have a lot of meat, but we eat a lot of like soy proteins. Not only soy, we also eat a lot of black beans. I don't know if you ever heard of like azuki beans, like red beans. We eat a lot of beans too. So this is, I just want to show you like, this is the pyramid, not pyramid, like food guide, like in the Japanese government recommend. So, so this is another slide. This is like an Okinawans used to eat. So because they're like known for living longer, and then maybe like you see like this looks like a perfect meal. I assume they don't eat this like every single morning, every single day, but a lot of seniors or even like younger people, if they're healthy, they eat. This is rice, and then also I put like a mugwort. Do you know the of like a tines? Tastes like a little bitter, but the leafy like an olive mixed with rice. And then this is like a little soup, egg. And then Okinawa, they eat a lot of pork, but they're famous for they're famous for eating a lot of pork head to toe. So which we like, I'm from Tokyo, I never had the pork head, pork feet, but they eat head to toe. I think this is also like one of the healthiest like and healthy tips. So eat whole, like a cow, or like a whole, like I mean like a whole, even like a whole vegetable, like you have to eat like skin, like, and you don't have to peel the skins. So kind of same concept. And then like you see a lot of like little vegetables, like sweet vegetables, also pickles too. And then this is like green tea. So like they use a lot of like citrus. It's called like shikwasa. So shikwasa citrus, like in the main island in Japan, like we don't have it. So like Okinawa grows kind of interesting like vegetables, fruits, fruits also a little bit like of that like we don't, like a main island we don't use. And then also Okinawa eats a lot of sweet potato. So their food is not rice. It's a staple food here. Different kind, like purple, yellow, orange. So also like I will talk about like a nutrition later, but the sweet potato contains a lot of fibers. And then also these cutters contain different kind of antioxidants. So this is also good. So antioxidants are good for your immune systems, also like energize your cells. And then I put here bitter melon. I think like this vegetable is like very, very familiar to your culture too, among your culture. So this bitter melon, Okinawa introduced to like a main island to eat more. So now like people in Tokyo, other prefectures, we eat bitter melon pretty often. And then they usually cook with tofu, like in the soybeans, the tofu with bitter melon, and then we use a lot of soy sauce and miso. So I will talk about the condiments later too. So this is kind of like traditional Okinawan food. And the next slide, this is like other prefectures, including like Shigan and Okayama prefectures. So on this photo is traditional Japanese breakfast. So I grew up with traditional Japanese breakfast, like almost every morning. My mother, we didn't have fish almost every morning, but this soybean, like a sticky soybeans, really good for our immune system, also like gut health, like your gastrointestinal health. And then also like seaweed and rice and the miso soup. This is the kind of main food for breakfast. And also like a lot of people, like a lot of seniors, they live longer. They eat like this meal like 3 times a day. So now people say like don't eat rice because like a lot of carbohydrate is not good for you. Yes, but if you eat not a lot of rice, maybe like a cup of rice and a miso soup and then like a little protein and then little bit little like some kind of vegetables, that keeps us kind of good health. And then like I wanted to show you like on this photo, like a little Western breakfast. This is actually like my mother made it like for I think we have my family has Western like a breakfast like an every weekend because we get bored, especially kids get bored. But my mother always usually make a lot of salad and 1 egg and then yogurt and a banana and then 1 slice of bread for everybody, like each person. And then we sometimes drink coffee or tea. And then also this is a carrot juice. And then, yes, like, people in main island, we eat a lot of sweet potato too. Because sweet potato, we especially like, even like, I'm like almost 50 years old, but when I was a kid, we have a lot of snack, the chocolate candies, but when we get hungry, like I ate a lot of sweet potato as a snack too. So baked potato or like a steamed potato, and then we put sometimes butter, like sometimes like I put in just salt. Sometimes like we put the peanut butter, like an almond butter too. And then there's like on the photo on the bottom that I think like on the left for you. This is like a rice bowl. A lot of we like Japanese, we eat a lot of rice bowl as a lunch. So we bring like this rice bowl to work or to school, and then you can put some like umepram, like, and this is kind of pickles. We like for to prevent food poisoning. So we eat a lot of rice, but we not keep our health. And then also like a lot of people like live longer with Japanese traditional food. Okay, next slide. So this is like a lot of word, but I just wanted to write it down and maybe you can read later. So tips for like longevity from Japanese diet. So as I show you, food guide spinning top by Japanese government, we eat a lot of like whole grains, and then we eat a lot of white rice too. But sometimes like we mix like brown rice with millet. Also like we eat a lot of buckwheat too, and then a sweet potato, and depending on like different cultures, different prefectures. I'm sorry. And so whole grains, like grains, contains a lot of fibers, good for like our gastrointestinal health, like to prevent constipation, and vitamin minerals. And then this is it's a very important thing is to choose healthy carbohydrate foods and eating like a right portion size. So I recommend to the senior. I usually not only senior, like so your face size is your like one of the plate per each meal. Because everybody has a different body type, everybody has different like body size and a body type. So your face is kind of plated the plate, and then if you eat grains, and then also like if you have like a diabetes or like a different like health issues that like you have to control your carbohydrate intake because your blood sugar. So I would say like maybe like a little bit like less, but carbohydrate recommend like maybe like quarter. You have to eat this size of the grains each meal. So yeah, portion size is very important. And then also like carbohydrate gives you energy and support body functions. And then Japanese diet, like tips 2, it's fermented foods. I think like every culture has like a fermented foods. Also like a fermented foods, not only eating a lot of fermented foods, but you have to eat plant fibers because it's fermented foods contain probiotics. Probiotics can help us increase a good bacteria in GI systems. By the way, our GI system needs both good bacteria and bad bacteria. But the percentage, you need to have a good bacteria is like almost like more than 80%, and then a bad bacteria less than 20%, and then like you can keep good health. So eating like fermented foods and plant fibers called like prebiotics. So prebiotics is a plant fibers. So fibers that kind of pass through the digestive system to help both of like good bacteria in your GI system. So Japanese prebiotic foods so include konjac jelly. I don't know if you've ever seen like konjac is kind of yum, but they say kind of jelly type of kind of shirataki kuzu. Maybe if you have a chance to go to like Asian store, maybe you can find it. So, and then also like kuzu roots powder, and then also sea vegetables. Those like we eat a lot with fermented foods. So what is fermented foods? Like we eat a lot of fermented soybeans, also like a miso, and then shoyu soy sauce. And then also koji, like made with rice, soybeans, barley. And then also like we make a lot of pickles too. And then bonite is like a fish, but we use this bonite flakes for miso soup or like other type of soup. And then also vinegar. Vinegar is also like a fermented food too. And then amazake is kind of like made with rice. So Japanese food, like we eat a lot of fermented foods with plant fibers. So for not a Japanese food, prebiotics contains a lot of garlic, onion, like scallion, those kind of vegetable contains probiotics. And then also like fermented foods like also like kefir, like I think like agricultural rasi, like also like a milk product, and then also like pickles too. So I recommend you to eat like those fermented food with like plant fibers at least like once in a day. Okay, so I wanted to show you, so like it's a little blurry. The fermented food in Japan, like this is natto, like now natto is very much in the States because people think like, and people talk about like a natto. So because natto contains vitamin K2, it's also good for your bone health. So you don't have to eat like natto because it's a little like smelly and a sticky food. A lot of people cannot eat if you didn't grow up with it. But you can have like soybeans. Soybeans also good too. And then like we have a miso, shoyu, tsukemono. It's like a lot of, we have like cucumber, carrot, also like daikon radish, also like eggplant. Like we make pickles with it. with them. And then also like umeboshi pram, like, I don't know if you can buy in the States too, in like Asian market. So we have a plam with pickles too. And then this is like bonito flake I talk about. And then like this is natto, like the sticky. But everybody like we love natto, soybeans almost every single morning, or even like in the night. And we eat it with rice. And then like this is the pickles. We have so many different kind of pickles. Okay. So tips number 3, like vegetables from ocean and ground. So we have different kind of vegetables, including herbs. And then also like, we eat a lot of seaweeds. And also like roots vegetables, also the dried vegetables. By the way, I think like every culture has the same thing too. Like in Japan, so I didn't show it, like in the bottom of the photo, we have a lot of mushrooms called shiitake mushrooms, also like a burdock, also daikon radish, like our main vegetables. But we used to get a lot of these kind of vegetables and then we don't want to waste. So we kind of usually dry them. And then we use those like dried vegetables for the soup, or like either like we kind of make a pickles, or like we make, especially like this shiitake mushroom, we make a lot of, we put it like, and we cook with like soy sauce and a little bit sugar, and then we can keep it longer. So we a lot of there's like roots vegetables, seaweed, dry vegetables, different kind of vegetables. And also like we use a lot of daikon radish. I think like, I see like, Indian supermarket, they sell daikon radish too. Daikon radish is really good for your GI system. If you feel like a nausea, if your stomach is not good, we make daikon soup, or we grated daikon, and then we drink like in a hot water into like in a grated daikon radish, and then you drink it as a medicine. So it's kind of soothes your stomach. So, like I think like every culture, like I'm talking about like every culture a lot, but we have, when we didn't have a lot of medication, we use like vegetables, or we use like food as a medicine. So I think like, some Japanese, especially senior, we believe this, and then we still use vegetables, seaweed as a medicine. So, and then the burdock roots, I think like I see like in every supermarket right now. Also, they detoxify your blood, increase circulation. If you have like a cold hand, we use a lot of burdock roots, like make tea, or like a saute burdock root, and then to detoxify like and then clean our blood, and then also like increase circulation. And then as I mentioned, like in a kind of dried vegetable we use too. So tips number 4, proteins. So in Japan, like we as we are like a little island, so we are kind of like ocean everywhere. So we used to eat a lot of fish, and then as I mentioned, even fish. When I was kids, we eat only like seasonal fish, but nowadays people grow, or we can have any type of fish like all year. I don't know if this is good or not, because sometimes we waste a lot of fish, and then also it's not good for the environment. But traditional, like in a Japanese diet, like we eat a lot of fish, and then also egg. And then also we eat a lot of plant-based protein. So so you see the photo, this is a tofu. We eat tofu just like itself. We put like some soy sauce with scallion. But this one, sometimes like if you have like kind of tofu sitting in a refrigerator for maybe like 1 week, we saute tofu and then like with little soy sauce or like even like salt and pepper. And then this on the top of the photo, like this is tofu skin, but we put a lot of vegetables, carrot, scallion, also like mushrooms. So we don't want to waste any food. So that's why we eat everything. And then also this is soybeans, also like cook with other vegetables too. So I don't know, like if you ever have like, because in the US, especially breast cancer, if you have like a breast cancer, don't eat soy product. But this is a pro and a con, like because a lot of Japanese women nowadays, they eat a lot of Western food, and then we have our breast cancer rate increase, especially like among young people. So some studies shows like if we eat soybean product, I'm not saying like you have to eat a lot, but it's kind of like a certain amount as a protein source that like we can keep kind of good hormonal health as well. So and then like protein, like a good protein source, one of the good protein sources is dairy product. So dairy product now, like we drink milk, we eat yogurt. But however, like some studies shows in Europe, a Japanese drinks 1/3 less milk and then consume 1/10 less butter and then cheese than like Western countries. I think we still Japanese eat dairy products, but I think like for example, we don't make dairy products a lot, and so as I show you the map of Japan, Hokkaido prefecture, like in the northern part of Japan, they make really good dairy products. So that prefecture made a lot of dairy product and then like a delivery to like different prefectures. So reason why like we don't have a lot of dairy products, we don't make a lot of like a dairy product in Japan. So now we have cheese from Europe, like cheese from different countries. But I think like when you stick to our traditional Japanese diet, we don't use a lot of dairy product. And then also this is a thing also as I mentioned, like weather and then what your country grows. This is also very important to keep your health and whatever you eat. So kind of local food, eat local food, very important too. Okay, so another thing. So very important tips for longevity. So this is from my culture, like I grew up with this, like teachers, parents, grandparents, everybody taught us about these tips. Eating slowly. Nowadays, everybody's busy, so fast, and they don't chew. So at least like 10 to 15 bites before swallowing. This is very important because when we bite, like we chew, we get saliva. Our saliva is a medicine. So if we don't, eating food, kind of getting a lot of nutrients, it's very important. But also like we chew, and then saliva itself is medicine for us. So make sure to eat or chew like 10 to 15 times before swallowing. And then also like I have a patient a long time ago. He's a Japanese guy. He was like 30-something years old, and he gained a lot of weight when he moved to the United States because of the diet too. But he didn't want to do any, didn't want to restrict any diet. But I told him, remember, like, we are told to chew like, maybe like 15, 20 times before swallowing to keep our health, and then also like, we can maintain our weight. And then he did it, and then 3 months later he lost some weight too. So like the kind of chewing is important, even though like you don't have like own teeth, just like kind of chew. Like you don't, if you're not eating, just like kind of like using mouth is very important too, and good for your brain health. And then eat until 80% full, not 100%. Nowadays, people eat a lot, too much. So kind of like a mindful eating. You want to eat more, but it's just like, talk to yourself, just stop until 80% full. This prevents a lot of these, and then like, prevents or control like your weight, body weight. And then eat seasonal fresh product as much as you can. So this is very important. So find vegetables or like a seasonal fresh product, and then enjoy the taste, the kind of flavors. And then also like enjoy eating appreciation to food cooks you or yourself, or farmers, weather, nature, etc. Like, so this kind of appreciation is very important for your health too. And then last sentence, itadakimasu, gochitosama. Itadakimasu, Japanese, everybody, we say itadakimasu before our meat to just appreciate and to, someone food cooks, or like farmers, whether like, everybody. And then gochiso-sama. Gochiso means, gochiso is delicious, and then sama is kind of Mr. and then Mrs. So thank you so much for providing this delicious meal. This is gochiso-sama. After the meal, everybody has to say it. And then we wish like we wash like dishes, and then so this is the kind of must. I don't I kind of like say myself before my lunch, after lunch in the office too. And then so this is my grandmother, my both grandmother. I still have my one grandmother, she's like 92. And then another grandmother, she died like 91 years old. But so she told me, eat a small portion of 30 different dishes. I think like, if you, I think it's impossible, but she did it. Like, you don't have to cook like 30 different dishes like every single day. So she cooked a lot of meals.
Yours. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my purse. Yeah, I'll put this. No, I'll just take it in.
Is it okay? Yeah, anyway, so so you don't have to like make 30 different dishes, but I recommend you to cook a lot of different meals. You eat small, like every day, like maybe like prepare meal like in 1 week. And then I think like Dr. Lau told me, like his mother, and then also like my grandmother, same. So they kind of like they do like same time every single day. Like my grandmother had breakfast at 9 or 8:30 or 9 a.m. in the morning, and then have like hot water, like a milk, and then 12:30 1. I think like if you make a schedule, I think also like key. This is like great like tips for longevity too. I think this is the last slide. So this is for everybody. So eating healthy longevity, especially like after 60 years old, eat like in a small 3 meals, whether 1 to 2 small snacks daily if you can, and depending on your health condition, of course. But I think because we have to eat to keep our energy, and then also like especially like a senior, I don't want you to fall. So I also like I want you to walk. I want you to do like an exercise, eating food. And then also like, it's also it's good to have empty stomach before each meal. That's why I'm saying like gonna eat 80%. And then I talk about like grains, protein, fat, and then your culture maybe ghee like olive oil, coconut, sesame oil, like use fat too. Like don't worry about like weight gain. So you need like a certain food because our brains needs a lot of fat too. And then protein like vitamins, minerals, also like antioxidants, like in your culture, like use a lot of spices, which is really great. And then like all the Japanese that like we use a lot of spices because of the weather difference. Like we don't use a lot of like a spicy food, because the spicy food is I like a spicy food is for like the hot weather to cool your body. So that's why like we don't like a Japanese diet, we don't use a lot of spices. But in the summer nowadays, I believe like global warming is coming. So in Japan, in the summer it's very hot. So now we use a lot of spices too. So, and then also like in protein, calcium, like iron, vitamin D, vitamin B12 will be like an to boost the system and also a cognitive function, like build and keep muscle, and then also mood, and then also like bone health. So I think like a lot of people are like vegan or vegetarian, and then vitamin B12 is very important for anemia as a cognitive impairment and like a brain, like you don't want to have like a dementia. And then also like kind of like a neuropathy, like kind of moving, like also kind of if you have like a poor balance, maybe like this is from like maybe anemia, like I don't know, but a vitamin B12 is very important. So if you're a vegan, try to find like a fortified food. Also, I sometimes like recommend like to take like a vitamin B12. I think like a lot of people might be taking it, like a vitamin B12, like 10 microgram per day, or like 2000 microgram per week. But if you're a vegetarian, if you eat egg, dairy products, so I think like to me, eating food is most important. So make sure to eat like those products. I think, yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for pouring us with so much of knowledge. That's
Thank you.
that's beautiful. Like, it was good to know like a Japanese culture, like how you guys eat a lot of protein, and even rice. People say like it's I mean a lot of carbohydrate, but still I mean older generation, they kept on eating on rice and still they lived long life.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, if anybody has any concern, questions, or like anything, please unmute yourself and
Yeah. This is Anasuya. I have a question.
Sure.
What is wasabi and what's the best way to use
Oh, show me where is that? Somehow I should stop sharing. Okay. Wasabi, thank you so much for a great question. Wasabi is the kind of condiment. Have you been to like a sushi place?
it? Yes, we eat it with the little green stuff that they give.
Yeah. This is wasabi is the kind of roots vegetables, and it's very spicy. But we used to, we still say like this wasabi kills poison in the fish, and then also wasabi like cleans our body too. So that's why and then also like maybe like you notice like you went to sushi restaurant and you saw like a lot of daikon radish, like slice like very like a thin Have you seen that? Like a daikon
Yeah,
radish?
like
Also
a pickle. They also
yeah,
pickle it,
pickles.
right?
Yeah. So that also helps to kill the toxin in the fish. So that's why like we eat like wasabi, especially like with fish a lot. And then also like, we eat wasabi with tofu, the tofu too, kind of like a mix with like a soy sauce. It's delicious too. If you like the
Wow.
wasabi taste. And then
Mhm.
sometimes like people like gonna mix wasabi and then soy sauce mix, and then they make the sauce, and then
Mhm.
they put you saute the vegetables, and then you put a little bit wasabi. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's very good for your health. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, even I like wasabi, but I've noticed that when I take it, it clears my cold and the nose sick. More than spicy like the chilies, it is more like strong going through to your nose.
yeah, like it's a yeah. So that's
Yes.
and then especially like if you have kind of spring fever, like an allergy.
Yeah, allergies, yes.
Yeah,
They
allergy.
clear up
Like
a lot.
we use a cleaner. Yeah.
Yes. I know we
Yeah.
eat because we feel that it clears the allergies.
Yeah, that's really strong. And then unfortunately, like because when I go home, I see a lot of roots, like wasabi roots. But here, if I go to Japanese supermarket, like and I can find it, but it's a tiny, tiny roots, almost more than $10. So
Oh.
I don't use it. But if you go to like in a Japanese store nowadays, they sell natural wasabi in a tube, but we used to put a lot of like in a preservative, but now like they sell like a natural version too.
Yeah.
If
How
you're
about the
interested.
powder? I got
Oh,
a powder in it.
Oh, powder is good. Yeah, powder is good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, even like you don't have to mix with water. You can kind of sprinkle. Like you use turmeric because I like to use like a turmeric roots, but sometimes when I use turmeric powder, like I just like sprinkle.
One thing you said about the grains, that we should eat grains. But now when you see the other diets, they tell you not to eat grain, like lot of
The
grains,
green.
like wheat and rice and other grains you eat.
The greens are gonna like a spinach.
No, the grains. I mean the
The
wheat.
grains. Yeah, the grains. Yeah, yeah. So so where did you grow up?
India, Bombay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
we have roti and rice with food,
I think
vegetables.
I'm telling you, I used to eat rice made kind of grown in California, and then I gained weight, and then now I can buy rice from Japan. So one of the stores that's selling the rice from Japan, I eat same amount of rice, but I don't gain weight, and then I feel so much better. So
Really?
in India, so when you are in India, like you are eating, much fresh, like even like grains and then vegetables. Here, you can check. I don't know if you can have like rice, whatever flours from India, or even like a chickpea powder from India. I tell my patient to check the ingredients, where they're from. And then also like at your age, if you eat grains, even like kind of like yours, can you do this? Like you make a fist. You make a fist, your hand size. If this amount of like grains you eat, like even though like in the morning, lunch, dinner, you're fine. But also like I didn't mention, because I don't want to talk about a lot of nutrition, but the key is eat vegetable first before your grains. Because when you eat rice, before fruits or before if you eat like before like vegetables or protein, your sugar spikes. So that's why you eat vegetable protein first, then grains.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
yeah, yeah.
Sounds right. So first we eat the vegetables.
Yeah,
How about lentils?
lentils,
eat
it's
the-
good too. Yeah.
Okay, and
So
then we eat the grain.
yeah, I like your culture, like dal, like lentils.
Yeah.
But if you have, a lot of, if you make like greens, like a vegetable dish, and then you eat, maybe it's better to eat like a vegetable first because enzymes in the vegetables. If you eat enzyme and then like, lentil or like a chapati or like, yeah,
Rice. Mhm.
rice. So for your age, I really feel like a lot of people, especially in United States, they get mentally like illness because they focus on too much on food and diet. And I feel I think like enjoy eating is the most important thing because your brain, you give pleasure to your brain, and then if you feel kind of happy eating food, and which prevents kind of dementia, or I think like also like it's, as I said, like chewing, it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank
But
you.
thank you.
Happy food. Sorry, you were saying something.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. I said happy food makes you happy. But
Yeah.
at the same time, certain food they'll tell you, no, this is not good for you and all that. I'm 84, so I'm not worried. I'm just telling you, I must be doing something right to come up to here quite healthy. So okay, that's the thing.
Yeah, so I tell my patient, like if you have like a diabetes, for example,
Yeah.
diabetes, or obviously like you can tell if I eat this and then like it's raised my blood sugar. Of course, like you have to keep your regimen, like sometimes like you have to restrict yourself, and then but I said like if you wanna, what do you like? What kind of like, do you like sweets?
Oh, I love mithai a lot. And I'm pre-diabetic. Actually, my doctor told me take care. So I was just wondering what I should eat out. I mean, I can avoid sweets for some time, but not all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing, like not all the time. So if you eat sweets and then do you exercise?
Yes, I mean, yoga I do like
Yeah,
every
that's
morning.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but also like the yoga is, I love yoga too, but also like you have to do like a little cardio exercise.
Yeah.
Even you don't have to go out. Even like now, like you stay in the room, just like even like steps.
Huh.
10 times, 20 times, 30 times, right after like your sweet.
Okay.
Because those cardio exercise helps to reduce blood sugar.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like that's very important. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
of course. Yeah, of course. Anybody?
Please unmute yourselves.
So walking slow or walking brisk? mean, because we get slow with the aging, we cannot
Yes.
walk too fast. So walking
No,
slow.
you don't have to walk. It's I don't know if you ever heard of kind of like Asia, like we have like kind of same thing, like you don't have to a lot of like, because here like people like go. But Asia, like we kind of like, when we think about like our health, usually like, we have to calm down. So just like walk slowly, kind of the keys like you have to be comfortable.
Yes.
So maybe like, after you eat, for example, sweets, and then maybe like 30 minutes, 1 hour later, like, you just like, mindfully like walking, in the house. And then maybe like also like maybe you can move your arms. You don't have to do like brisk walking, like, like you don't have to, just like, comfortable. Even if your knees, if you don't have any knee pain, like back pain, you can do like in a squat. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
just a little movement. You don't have to
Mhm.
do a lot. Yeah.
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 Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Saka.
Thank
you.
you.
It's wonderful meeting you, and
Yeah, thank you
good
so
to
much
know,
for
like
having me.
you know a lot of Indian food. I can make out by saying you dal, roti, and all. I know, like you stay in New York. Definitely, sometime like I would like to invite you to our senior centers in
Great.
person.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
So much.
which oil is better? Which oil is better for cooking?
So I use olive oil, and then also like
Olive.
sesame. If I cook Japanese food, I use a lot of sesame oil.
Uh-huh.
If I mix, we have like Japanese curry too. Like, we make curry, like I use coconut oil or avocado oil.
Yeah, I use coconut oil every
Okay,
time.
yeah. Yeah.
Is
So,
it good?
so if you can also, do you use ghee?
Yeah, ghee I use.
Yeah. So ghee and a coconut oil, but it's depending on like, the quality. And then also if you have like a high cholesterol, if you have a high cholesterol, like you can go to
Uh-huh.
doctor's office next time and like you check the cholesterol. Like if you have like a high cholesterol, I recommend you to use like olive oil too, like a mix and a match. Like, you use like, coconut oil, like, ghee, you can use it, but it's sometimes like, you can use like olive oil.
Olive oil.
Like a balance, make a balance.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr.
Yeah.
Rao, like you have anything to say? Yeah.
Come.
Yes.
Arrest.
Can you,
Hi.
hello, can you please
Hey.
suggest a good Japanese grocery store that we can go and buy good, authentic Japanese products?
So there is you're in a Queens. You're in a Queens. Everybody's in
Yes.
Queens. Yeah. So there's one Japanese supermarket in Forest Hills. So
Mhm.
I will email you, like, and I think it's called Sakura.
Yes, if you can email
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah, I will email
and
you.
we can send it to all our members because
Yeah.
there
And
are
then
at least
also it's a Korean market, but it's called like H Mart. Have you ever heard of it? H Mart?
yes, H Mart
Yes.
is no.
H Mart
it's
is
a
in
Korean,
different locations. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah.
yeah, so H Mart also sometimes they have like Japanese food, and then what you can tell is when you see the product. So this is like, you have to see like, what is a Korean character and a Japanese character. If the product put Korean characters made in Korea, or like in a Korean product, if also sometimes they say like they put in the product in Japan.
Oh,
So yes, so H Mart has a lot of Japanese food. And then if you have a chance to go to New Jersey, it's called like a Mitsuwa. It's a huge Japanese market. So
what's the spelling?
M as a Mary, I, T as a Tom, SUWA.
Japanese store,
Yeah, I will email you.
please,
Yeah.
because you have introduced at least 7 new different products that we normally do not eat, other than wasabi, and which is already mentioned, soya. There are 7 different new items. And if we can incorporate 3 or 4 to meeting our taste, that will be wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then also nowadays, you know, those as I mentioned, like dried vegetables, you can buy like it's on Amazon. Like I can also like give you a link. You know, I will give you like I will send you a link where
Dry
to buy.
vegetables, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That may be fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because I make a lot of Japanese food, but also like I use a lot of turmeric and a lot of curry powders too. This is kind of wonderful, you know, like not only like sticking to Japanese food.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. If you don't have any
Thank you.
questions, yeah,
Thank you
thank
very-
you. Hope to see you soon.
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
so much.
Yes.